What's going on, everybody? XmanFiles back with another video. This time it'll be another what I've been playing video, and I think these 4 games that I have listed and lined up are very diverse in style, gameplay, mood, but I found them all to be equally enjoyable because of that reason. Like, there's some older games that you can see KOTOR is in the background playing right now. And there are some newer games that I'll get into later. But yeah, like last year, I played Dragon Age Origins for the first time, which pretty much reaffirmed what I already knew, in the sense that BioWare makes really good games. And previous to me playing Dragon Age, I had played the Mass Effect trilogy, which is one of my favorite franchises of all time after playing that. But KOTOR 1 just put me back in that place where I'm amazed that they can make something this good so early in the 2000s, which we know had a lot of gems. But like I said, this was my first time playing this game, so for me to be so invested, like it just came out yesterday, was just so amazing to me. This game had great characters, some pretty good plot points. The settings were great, the conversation choices were great, and it offered a lot of adventurous freedoms. Like, these are all things that I constantly look for in a role-playing game, and KOTOR just offers them as like a buffet. Like, every planet, every like story segment that you're going through, there's always going to be an opportunity for you to make a choice that just exemplifies the type of person you are and the type of player that you want to be, an actor in this grand space opera, which is Star Wars. Of course, the mechanics and presentation are both dated, and I could see these things being a hurdle to newcomers. But if you're a Star Wars fan or a freedom-rich role-playing game fan, then I believe there's more than enough to keep you engaged in KOTOR's happenings. Like, this game, definitely, I would come home and get off work, and I would play this game for hours, just trying to see how many different conversations I could get out of people, trying to see, saves coming. I would do one thing and see how they react, and then do another thing and see how they react, and it just continuously blew me away that they put so much time and effort into making this experience just so in-depth and just so varied. Like, I don't think 2 people could walk away having the same experience if they go through this game only one time, which was amazing to me. One thing that stood out, one particular scenario, was you go to Manan, and one of the side quests is basically just you being a special investigator and a lawyer, where you have to persuade the council of judges to agree on a man's innocence or his guiltiness. I spent the entire night talking to characters, analyzing evidence, and bullying people into doing what I wanted. Really, KOTOR was just a flat-out great game. I don't think there's too much more I can say about it. I think that there's a lot of opportunities for cool, like, builds and play styles, and basically, if you want to live out like a Star Wars fantasy, like, oh, like, I want to make this kind of character who uses these weapons, talks to people like this, and dresses like that, there's obviously going to be some friction trying to get everything to a T, just due to how old this game is. But for the most part, I found myself like referencing other Star Wars characters, like, oh, like, I could be a gunslinger like Cad Bane, or I can be like a Sentinel, which is like a more serious tone Jedi who, like, you question if they really are on the light side, or I could be a complete evil dude like the Sith, or I could just be like super politically correct the entire time and be like, I don't know, like the way everybody saw Amidala was in the earlier movies. But yeah, KOTOR was just a great game. I'll probably play it again sometime soon, but before that, I'm definitely gonna have to set some time aside and check out the second one. So yeah, that's the first game. So the second game in today's video is going to be one that came out not too long ago, but I had been putting it off playing it because I didn't know how to feel about playing a new entry in the Ratchet and Clank series. Like, this was a game from my childhood, and I would hate to see them tarnish a great run. So yeah, this game I liked it and it was enjoyable, but there was definitely some gripes that I had. Like, I've been playing this franchise pretty much my entire life. It was the first game was the first game I ever had on the PS2. I played all of the entries on PS2. Skipped majority of the releases on PS3. I played the remake or the retelling, whatever you want to call it, that came out on PS4. And this is the first time playing a Ratchet and Clank game since then. First and foremost, the game looks amazing. Like, this is the best Ratchet and Clank has ever felt at 120 hertz with the DualSense. I enjoyed the gameplay a lot. It reminded me of Doom. Ironically, like, this is like a more family-friendly, child-friendly game, but due to just how much is always going on the screen at all times and constantly changing weapons on the wheel, it just reminded me of Doom. All the planets looked really good, and the fact that there was dual protagonist stuff, I'm personally a fan of that kind of stuff in video games, so I thought it was really cool. I think the story was pretty mid. I've seen other people draw the Disney movie comparison, and I couldn't agree more. A lot of the story beats were predictable from the start, and the dialogue was pretty bare bones. The pacing was also a little off. I don't know if other people felt like that, but I definitely did. It just led to the game feeling really short, and some stuff that I feel like should have been expounded on due to the last time we've seen some of these characters. Like, they just put us in the game, which kind of made me feel like this game was more of a tech demo than a traditional Ratchet and Clank entry. I miss the older, like, raunchier, risky joke telling aspects to these games. Like when Captain Quark was kind of a bad guy and threw Ratchet and Clank under the bus, or when Clank got swapped out for evil Clank, and there was like this whole like thing where they was like dancing with the girl robots in the background and all of this stuff. Like, you could have seen, like, it gave like teenager vibes, like edgy teenager vibes, which to some people they may find it corny, but I think that that's where a lot of the charm for this game was. All in all, I enjoyed my time with the game, and I hope we get another entry at some point. In between all of the Marvel stuff and whatever else Insomniac is doing, I just hope that we can get another Ratchet and Clank game, but I hope that it's, and this might be a little, I don't know. I hope that the game is more like what it used to be, but then again, there's always the chance that maybe these newer games or newer entries in franchises just aren't for me anymore. And that's perfectly okay, because I'm more than happy going to find something else to play. But yeah, that's what my hopes were for this game. I was hoping that it would have been a little bit funnier, a little bit grown up. But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed it, but I did have my gripes. The third game in today's lineup is Destiny 2, which just saw a major DLC release, I think 2 weeks ago now. I waited like a week to buy it and jump in, so like I don't have very many complaints about the whole like server problems and constantly getting kicked and whatever else happened during that initial launch, because like I said, I waited a week. But yeah, D2, the final shape, is the culmination of 10 years of storytelling, which may not have always been the best, but overall, if you had the time invested, you have a pretty good idea of everything that was going on at what points. And yeah, this is the ribbon that ties the last 10 years worth of story content together. I I won't go too crazy in detail about the story because I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like this was the best DLC, which topped my favorite, which was Rise of Iron, if you know anything about Destiny. Um, the Pale Heart in concept and design is literally amazing, which is the area that you're seeing in the background now. I won't like give off anything about how you get there, what you're doing there, and what its significance is. Um, you get to see well-established characters in a whole new light, which is refreshing and endearing, especially to longtime fans like myself. Destiny has always done a great job at making the Guardian and the player feel like one, but this campaign was like that notion in peak form. Like everything that your Guardian was saying, I could see myself saying if I was in a similar scenario, and all of his reactions to different characters and different story points were all like just very natural and fluid. Um, I loved every story mission in the campaign and the post missions that happen after the campaign is over, after in game, after the raid is over, and all of the missions that coincide with all of that stuff. I loved it. Um, the exotic quests that I've done so far that are tied to this DLC were great. I haven't done it all. I'm still working through a lot of the post content. I haven't done the raid yet. Um, all I can say is Destiny 2, like, they did it. Like, every time I talk to somebody about this game and about this DLC, I always say how it feels like. And I don't know anything that's going on behind closed doors, but it feels like Bungie knew that this DLC could have been the last time that they touched this franchise. So they genuinely went all out. Like you can see it in, like I said earlier, the characters, how some of that stuff plays out, just the Pale Heart, and like I said, everything that it means for the story in general. You can definitely see them putting their all into this final shape. It's corny, but that's exactly like I think that name is so befitting of everything that this DLC had to offer. So yeah, this is definitely gonna stay in my rotation as like a first or second option whenever I'm getting on the game. And yeah, hopefully I'll make some video in the future just rehashing everything that I talked about now and just speaking about what other stuff I'm excited for, because they had a video basically saying like what the next year is going to look like and all of that good stuff. So yeah, D2 has done it again. It has me by the balls once again, and I will be continuing to play this for the foreseeable future. So the last game in today's lineup is actually going to be Metro Exodus. This game has been out for a while, and I've just been putting off playing it for a multitude of reasons, but the biggest one being that I do have a physical copy, and I just didn't have it with me. So now that I do, I've just been taking the time to experience what everybody else was talking about when this game came out, and I'm starting to see why it's in so many people's like favorite game list or favorite post-apocalyptic or favorite Eastern European survival game or whatever other lists that they have it on top. This is the only game on the list that I haven't beaten, just because I like to play it in like an episodic fashion. So I'll just like play maybe like an hour or 2 hours and then put it down, do some exploration and then put it down, and come back to it throughout the week. This game is beyond immersive. All the different animations, actions, and movements that RTM does makes me feel like I'm watching something rather than playing it, which is definitely one of this game's strong suits, because I've also like seen and heard people say that this game has sim-like elements, and I think that just the extra effort that they went and put in this game to have him do different stuff for different like quick time events, or just wiping the mask, or some of the spiders that crawl across the mask, like these are all things that really help you feel connected to the player. I like all of the characters in this one way more than the other two. Obviously, they're a larger part of the story due to just how stuff played out and like all the characters being on the train and just experiencing all these different things together. The pacing of the story and the missions have been great so far. They definitely give an opportunity for different gameplay elements to shine. Some of the missions might require stealth, while others are just like pure combat, similar to like Call of Duty. And then some of them might create like creativity, like trying to get these mutants to fight this group of bandits, or trying to utilize like lights to distract people, or whatever the case may be. I feel like this game really gives an opportunity for different types of players to play the game in all these different ways. The crafting is a welcomed and natural evolution to the game over Metro Last Light. I played it again maybe like a year ago, and now that this one has crafting in it, it just makes much more sense because, well, the world is over. The world is over. So of course you're gonna take the stuff that you have and just make it work the best that you can. So I really do like the crafting, and you can make some pretty diverse weapons. Obviously, there's gonna be the best choice in some of these cases, but I think it still allows creativity. I'm still getting through the game, but I do plan on taking my time with all the DLC, all the side quests, whatever else extra content this game has to offer, just because we don't know the future of this franchise, as 4A Games and this franchise have been separated due to a bunch of stuff that went on with Embracer Group and the ownership of Metro. So yeah, those are the 4 games that I've been playing and have beaten. I don't know when the next time I'll make a video like this is gonna be, just simply because I'm playing so much stuff. Some of it I'm on the fence about just making a video all to itself, and some of it is just kind of meh or mediocre. So I don't even think I would have that much to say about it. But yeah, those are the 4 games that I've been playing. Thank you if you made it this far into the video. If you liked it, like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.